Hi, everybody. Hey, it's John Stevens. I'm here on Stu News Sunday, and we're having a crazy day as it relates to our Skype technology. So I was expecting to just kind of kick back and listen to Tom do this segment, but I'm gonna move forward. We got Karen Yelsey on the line. Karen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So it was huge news. I guess it was on Friday that it was announced that Superintendent Fred Navarro has resigned. So, how did you find out about that? Is this a long time coming, or was it unexpected for you?
Well, first of all, I think the correct word would be he's retiring.
Oh, okay.
It's not like he's leaving here and going somewhere else. He's retiring. And whether it was a long time coming, I don't think it was a long time coming, but Dr. Navarro has been with our district for 40 years as of now. Been in education for 40 years. He's been with our district for 8 years. So, you could kind of see that probably this would be happening sometime soon. The average length of service for a superintendent is really 3 to 5 years, so he's been here a long time. And so the timing of Friday was a little bit of a shock, but no, I was not surprised that it would be coming sometime.
Now, so are you the president now, Karen?
I'm the vice president.
The vice president,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, Michael Shore is president.
Okay, so what's the plan going forward? What's the succession plan? I know you've got an acting superintendent that's going to take over, I think, on July 15th, and then what's your thoughts about what's going to happen thereafter?
Okay, well, obviously this is all news. We just had our meeting Friday at 3 o'clock. I think we left there at 6 o'clock, so it's really all news to us. And we were really processing Dr. Navarro putting in his retirement. We will have an acting superintendent who's deputy superintendent right now, Russell Lee's son, and he will become acting superintendent. And as we all know, we're in a difficult time right now with COVID, reopening our schools. We have a lot going on. So involved with our school district and have known about it for a while. But he's the one who started the signature academies in all our zones. And he did that to create courses of study that would be valuable for students that maybe we were going to lose, maybe kids were going to drop out. At Estancia, for example, we have construction technology, emergency medical technicians, and these are keeping some of the kids really focused and interested in being in school. And then they go out and they have jobs right away, or they may go to college and pursue that career. So those kinds of things.
Okay, that's kind of the premise of maybe college isn't for everybody.
Absolutely, and I think we know that more today that it's not for everybody. We've developed a lot more CTE programs, career technical education, and those are things that I'm sure he is, but we're really proud of that we've done under him. He's really done a lot in terms of increase our mental health, social and emotional support for students. And over the past, he's been here for 8 years, and within that time, our need for those types of help, our need for that type of help has increased dramatically for a lot of reasons, I think. But we've added more social workers, we've added more psychologists, behavior specialists. We have a crisis intervention team that we've had to use many times in our district, unfortunately. And now with the whole coronavirus issue, I think students are going to have even more emotional, stressful issues and that we're going to have to deal with. And I think we're pretty well prepared to handle that now.
Okay, so what are the biggest, besides finding a new superintendent, what are the biggest challenges you feel the district is facing moving forward?
Well, immediate challenge is reopening our schools. And pretty much that's what we're focused on right now. We've had a superintendent advisory, and as I was saying to Tom before you came on, Russell Lee-Sung, who will be the acting superintendent, has been responsible for that. So that will be a seamless connection in terms of reopening the schools. But just like cities or businesses or anything else that's reopening, we've got to plan for all kinds of contingencies. And our schools will open on August 24th, whether that will be all in person, whether it will be a hybrid type of program. There may be some people who don't want to come back at all in this environment. Will we go to a virtual academy for some of those people? We've often in the past we've even talked about maybe having an online academy for some students who couldn't be in school or have other things going on. Well, this is a perfect opportunity to do that. So we are planning for all kinds of contingencies in how to reopen schools. And I believe the plan will be announced, the plan of what we expect to do will be announced to us at our board meeting on June 23rd.
So, Karen, one of the things that, I have kind of been after on the school board is, and I'd just like to get your response to this. I think the school board could do, not the school board, I think the entire district could do a better job in meeting the community, out in front of things rather than, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the outreach is always the best. Do you have any comments on that? And how do you, if that is a negative, how do you improve that?
Yeah, I think that's something that's really important right now. This is Katrina Foley. We're back. I got back in. We keep getting bumped out. I think it's so important. I think this is our opportunity. And, Karen, I've long been an advocate for this, and I've always felt we don't do enough. But I think this is our opportunity to hear from the community, hear from those segments of the community that never come to a school board meeting, that don't go to PTA or don't, have some connection with somebody that they can share information. This is our unique opportunity in time to address that, both as it relates to returning back to school and as it relates to the new superintendent that is selected.
Well, and I think you're right. And one of the things we've been using quite a bit lately is thought exchange, where we get opinion, and it's on different topics, but opinions from different groups of people on a subject. And we've had to do this for, with COVID going on, we can't have meetings. For instance, we had one for an ensign safety project that we're doing, and we had a thought exchange for those people who wanted to be on it. We have done one with parents about the reentry of school and what they'd like to see, so we have that information, and that will also be presented. But I think this thought exchange type of idea, especially now, is a great opportunity to get more voices involved in all kinds of things. How's school looking? We'll have to do it along the way too, because there's going to be so many changes. We really don't know what's going to be happening August 24th. We don't know we're going to be continuing on in our opening up of everything. It would be great to have all the kids back in school, but we don't know that's going to happen.
Yeah,
so
that's not going to happen.
Okay, so Karen,
I can be optimistic.
Karen, take this on for me.
Yes.
I appreciate you doing the thought exchange. I know that you did the reach out for Ensign on a thought exchange, and just, a week or two ago, you did another thought exchange. And I think that's great stuff. Convince me, because one of the criticisms that I hear is that the school district is going through the motions with thought exchanges, but not listening on the back end. How serious do you take those thought exchanges?
I think with the thought exchange, we will take the input from people. I think we have to, especially opening of school, I think is a perfect example, because we want to educate all 22,000 kids. And so we've got to have an opportunity for all of them to have a place to go, whether it's still at home and they have the opportunity to learn, whether it's in school, and then we have to be careful. We can't have more than 15 students in a room at a time. How do we do that? Do they come half days? So I think we are taking everyone's input on this. Now, sometimes there are a lot of loud voices who maintain a certain position on something like this, or It could be something like graduation. But there's an equal number of people who feel differently, and we have to listen to their responses too. So we're real. I do believe we'll listen. Communication is always an issue. It's an issue with whatever outlet you're talking about, and we can always do better. And I say we can always do better. We have to communicate with the people we're working with, but we can also tell people something 10 times and they don't hear it. Okay. They want to hear it the 11th time.
So before we take a break here, one more thing. Karen, tell me the process that you're expecting on seeking a new superintendent.
Okay, well, it's a difficult time right now because of trying to get through the summer and this year of opening up schools. So primarily we want stability of just doing that. So while we're doing that, Russell Lee's son will be the acting superintendent, or, we'll figure out what his role will be. We do have elections, and I don't know how much was heard before you came on, Tom, when I was talking to John, so I may be repeating myself on some of this. But we have an election coming up in November, and there will be some new people on our board.
Okay.
And we need to have those voices heard, and we're having a new board.
Oh, good. So you're going to wait to select the superintendent until after the election? Is that the plan?
Well, they will be involved in selecting the next.
I think you should wait. It's not fair to the new board. I think you should wait.
Karen, I appreciate you taking time with us today. I'm sorry about the confusion. I'm going to let you go here because we're having problems patching people in, and I'm going to jump out of this and take a break. But I wish you great success moving forward. I look forward to talking to you through Stu News, and wish you a great rest of the day, and good luck on this process.
Hope
to see you at the parade.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Back to you. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Stu News Sunday in just a moment. We are back, Stu News Sunday. Got a full crew in here today, probably too many. I have Mayor Pro Tem John Stevens, my regular co-host. Good to see you, John.
Good to be here, Tom.
Katrina Foley, the mayor of Costa Mesa, former school board member.
Yes, good morning.
Boy, that was a lifetime ago.
It feels like it, right? I don't even have kids in the schools anymore.
So I think we also have Leah Urshulu on.
Yes, hello.
Good morning.
Hi,
Leah, first of all, I apologize. Just the technical things of trying to get everybody on board and everything. This is such a critical time for the school district, and I wanted to get a lot of different voices on, so maybe I overcommitted on that, but I appreciate you hanging in there with us. Hopefully we'll still have a chance to bring in Ashley Anderson after you and possibly Lori Smith. So I'm still hoping for that. Leah, I know you are talking about making a run for the Board of Education, the school board in town, Newport-Mesa. Talk about where we are with that. And now that you've heard the news about the superintendent leaving, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, thank you, Tom. Yes, I am thinking about running here in Area 1, which is Mesa Verde and Hillcrest area here in Costa Mesa. The campaign is going fine. We're up and running. We're just trying to educate voters that they have a choice, that they don't have to go with the incumbent who's won the past 2 elections, that they can actually read about both of us and make an educated decision. The superintendent news was interesting because in my mind, it's people. I know a lot of people love to get riled up about the superintendent, but for me, it was never really about him. It was really about the leadership that put him in place and maintained him there. So he's gone, that's fine, but the leadership is still there. Those board members are still there, and many of them were around for this entire time and have never sort of reined him in. So in my mind, the November election is what's most important, and then a new superintendent should be chosen by the new board. There should be...
That's what I was going to say.
Russell is the interim. He can be the interim to get us, through the holidays, maybe. I think that's fair. Through flu season because of COVID. So I would say until March, April, till spring of 2021. But then the board needs to hire an executive search firm and go and find the best superintendent in the nation to come here, because this is a great district, a great community, and we deserve the best.
Okay, so Leah, what's your message on, when you're out there knocking on doors and everything, and you're talking to people about having a choice for the school district? What is your message to them? What does Leah bring to the table?
Sure. My message is that I've spent, the past 20 years of my career in social and nonprofit services, so I really understand the value of education and health and the ability for us to work collaboratively with a lot of different folks. But more than that, aside from collaboration, which is something that I hold very dear, it's just the fact that I'm a mom. I have actual children in the district, number one. Right now, there's only one board member with actual children, and 1 out of 7 is not a good stat. So the fact that I am a mom, I have a child in the district is one, and I'm also a small business owner. So I've been a small business owner for 13 years. I know how to balance budgets, tight sales, make sure that things are running efficiently and smoothly, and also thirdly, I'm a researcher by training. My PhD is in public policy, so that's the passion of mine, policy, especially education policy. But more than that, I'm a researcher, and I really like to investigate things and learn about new models and innovation. And I think at this point in history, our school district needs someone that is kind of a geek. And I'm frankly a very big geek. And I will read, and I will delve, and I will ask tough questions. And that's kind of what I've done my whole life.
So one of the things, can I ask a question as a former school board member? So hi, Leah, good to hear from you. So one of the challenges that I struggled with while I was PTA president, booster president, foundation president, and school board member was the exodus of families from our local Costa Mesa schools to Newport or to Huntington Beach. Is that an issue that you are concerned about for Mesa Verde and Hillcrest families? And if so, what strategies do you have to address it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is something, although you're a board member for the entire district, I do think that now that we are elected by region, by zone, my zone here is Estancia, Tewinkle, Pillybrook, Adams, California, and early college high school. And that is a huge issue. And I think it really has destroyed the sense of community. This is a great community over here. But when you have kids skiing to Huntington Beach, to Davis Magnet, to private school, Catholic school, you have so many families here that have chosen to not stay, and that shifts, what our schools look like, and to the point that right now, I can't tell you how many friends I have that refuse to move to our neighborhood of Mesa Verde with gorgeous homes because they look up online and they see the staff on the elementary, middle school, and high schools and compare those to other communities with similarly priced homes. And they're just not okay with that level of education. And so there are great things going on in this district, in this zone, that people need to be made aware of. So I do think there needs to be a concerted effort by the district. I've seen the PTAs and the principals in certain sites are doing a lot to outreach, for instance, for those new Huntington Beach families, but it shouldn't be on them. This should be on the district to have a comprehensive strategy to make sure every family that lives in Costa Mesa wants to stay in Costa Mesa schools. On my cul-de-sac here of 6 families with children, only 2 of us go to public school. So my daughter's little best friend, Huntington Beach, and they live next door. So our sense of community is kind of shot because people have fled. So it needs to be a concerted district-wide sort of public relations-y effort, educate people, get them excited about their neighborhood schools, and we need to look closely at transfer. Who's allowed to transfer where, why, or what circumstances? Maybe not at all.
Here. Yeah. I think I've been saying that for 20 years.
Hey, Leah, this is John. So we had to pick a city manager, I guess it was in 2019, last year, and that was a whole process. And I think that was the most important vote that I've made, because the city manager will probably outlast me. And so just have you given some thought over the last couple days to the qualities that you're looking at in a new superintendent, and how you would approach that decision making?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I think at this point, there are several qualities of a transformative leader that we can look for in the hiring process. You need people that not only are interested in innovation and learning continuously, but are also good team players and are able to listen to, diverse viewpoints and factor those in. And because what I think we've seen in Newport-Mesa is sometimes we see a little bit of this doubling down on that idea. It's like an idea emerged, people went for it, the leadership went for it, they moved ahead, they get a lot of public backlash, and instead of integrating the public sentiment and figuring out, okay, what's a compromise, how can we work together, they seem to just double down on their that idea, rather than integrating community input. So because my background was heavily in community engagement, for me, parent engagement is a key thing that needs to happen. So I want to see this person, whoever is the new superintendent, I want to know their track record with parent engagement and community engagement, examples of how they've done that in the past, because that's a very critical thing. You look at other school districts; they have huge welcome signs welcoming parents to their school district, building. They're polite, they're kind, they're welcoming. You often don't feel that from every level of the district here. As someone who's went as a parent to request a copy of the budget, I can tell you it took 3 different folks and a week and a half to be able to get that document out, even though it was a very simple request. So I think that
Leah, I'm going to jump in here. Thanks for joining us. I gotta cut you off here because I still got 2 more people that I want to jump into. Things didn't work the way I wanted. I want to take a quick break for station ID, and then I hope to come back with Ashley Anderson, school board member, in just a moment.
Perfect.
You're listening to 101.5 KOCI, LP-FM, Newport Beach, Costa Mesa.
Person on the line? Ashley, you there?
Yes.
I am so sorry this morning. You're about the 3rd or 4th person I've apologized to. John and I had great ideas on how we were going to run this show today, and unfortunately it didn't work that way. So, but it's great to have you on board. You're a relatively new school board member, and you're kind of the, in my estimation, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're kind of the odd person out, or the odd people out on a school board that's been in place for a long time. Do you ever get that sense?
Yes. I have a very bad connection. I can barely hear you. Me, okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yes, I definitely have a sense that is the case. We have a board majority that is a bit enamored with the status quo, and I decided to run for school board because I firmly believe that we need change and innovation, and that we're not meeting the needs of some of our most at-risk students. And in the area that I represent, which is West Side Costa Mesa, where I was born and raised and went to school, we have not had adequate representation for years and years and years, and not have my voice count, and be continually ignored and also partially bullied. If anyone has watched some of our board meetings, the information, I'm just not able to get information that I request, and I'm not given the respect that is due the position that I'm in. So yes, it's been a quite challenging 18 months.
So, I believe that to be true. And, I admire you for jumping into the fray. I mean, I think, I've been a huge proponent over the years, dating all the way back to my days when I was publisher of the Daily Pilot, that I really got the sense in this community that people stuck on the school board too long. And it's not because they're bad people, because everybody jumped in to get involved and everything like that. But I'm more of a person, for example, I have grandchildren now, and my grandchildren are just going to be starting in the school districts in the next couple of years. I'd much rather have their parents involved in helping to make those decisions on their education than me, who went through school years and years and years ago. Again, doesn't mean that people are bad, but what do we do to get new people in on that board and kind of change the dynamics of this community?
Well, thankfully, in 2018, there were two big things that happened. Finally, we're able to go to area elections. So rather than school board being something that you had to be very wealthy to do, to be able to fund getting elected across all of Costa Mesa and Newport Beach, having district elections was huge. And I think that will continue to really help us have a more localized voice. And then also term limit, because it should not be where you are on the board when your children have graduated 20 years ago. The disconnect is evident.
20, try 30.
There are a lot of people who are on our board who do not understand what it's like to have small children and have not been working in the school. So I don't have my own children yet, but I have been working in our West Side schools for 10 years. And so I have firsthand knowledge from parents and students and teachers. So we're not reflecting our actual community, and we're supposed to be. Our job as a school board member is to bring accountability and to be a voice. And both of those are not realities of the role that our board members feel. They think that it is to be kind of like the cheerleaders of our district, which there's time and place for that. But ultimately, one of the problems that I've seen is because our board has been in place for so long, they have been treating our superintendent as if he's their friend, not their employee. That's always a cause for concern.
Hey, Ashley, this is John Stevens. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So anyway, I look at the school board, and I might be wrong about this, but this is my perception. I compare it to what we have at city council, and at city council, of course, we get our staff recommendations, but those are a starting point, and then we have frequently very lively discussions among the city council members, and we don't always agree with staff, and we frequently don't agree with each other, and there's often votes that go different ways, 4-3, 5-2, this, that, and the other. It's my perception that the school board is much more deferential to staff, and that the school district, as opposed to the city, is more of a staff-focused city as opposed to a deliberative board or council-focused. Do you agree with that? And if so, what do you think? What do you think we could do to change that, or to get more kind of an active discussion going with the board members like we see in our body?
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, I definitely see that. The board majority that is in place now, their role very different than a city council. They like to say it often, we have absolute trust in our staff. And while that is noble, there's a lack of questioning or rush. Like, for instance, the budget. The budget, particularly in a basic aid district, should be the most open, transparent, community-based process. We have not had a citizens finance oversight committee in several years. I have not
since I left
sit down directly with Jeff Prater, who oversees our budget. They won't let me. They will literally put at least 2 other people in that meeting with me, and they won't let me just ask the questions that I want to ask and to see the documents that I want to see. That's insane. So while we have some steps, the process is flawed right now, and we need new leadership that values accountability and transparency.
So Ashley, this is Katrina. Thank you. Oh, did you want to, Tom?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So one of the struggles that I had when I was on the school board was that I believed that the voters elect me to replace the incumbent at the time because they wanted to have somebody who would put forth ideas, proposals, initiatives that related to what the concerns of the parents, the teachers, the staff, the students were at the time. And one of the challenges was that the overall majority of the board had a view that the school board is an oversight committee. It is not a committee. It is not a board that is entitled to even have an initiative. We went back and forth on this over a variety of different issues, which I think remain issues today. But one of them was this exodus issue of the families from our local schools. So is that your understanding? Is that's the current mentality of the school board still, that it's an oversight body and it's not a body that's allowed to bring forth initiatives? John and I, we would never survive in that environment. Yes. Kind of why I'm not there anymore.
That is absolutely the case. One of the things just this month that has come up is, we are in the process of figuring out our school reopening plan. Well, as the only person who has gotten a degree in education in the last decade who's currently on the board, my Master's of Education is in digital teaching and learning. One would think that based on that, they would listen a little bit more to my perspective and input, because I know how to do this learning. I understand a lot of the potential shortfalls, and I have been left out of the first meeting that they had. I was not invited. I didn't even know the day and time they were having. And not only is my professional education, I've been a part of the Costa reopening committee for the past month. So I also stepped ahead, as I know what that process can look like done well. So the only person who's on our board is Martha, who does not have the background that I have. Really, Russell is the one who's in charge of reopening. Won't let me on this committee. So I'm not really very confident that Russell at the helm will stop the lack of transparency or stop blocking as a board member getting in having a voice. That's very concerning.
Okay. Ashley, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time with us this morning. This is going to be a really important issue moving forward, and so we're going to be revisiting this over the coming weeks and everything like that. We'll get our issues ironed out and do a better job moving forward. But again, I really appreciate your effort. Somewhere out there is Lori Smith. We were trying to get Lori on. It wasn't Lori's fault. I'll take the blame for that. We overcommitted and weren't able to deliver, but we'll get better at this. I thank people for listening to the message today. Stay tuned going forward. John and I will bring you a lot more information on this moving forward. Mayor Foley, thank you so much for joining us today. Any parting words?
Thanks for having me. Oh, just everybody get engaged. I think that's the theme we heard today. We need people to get engaged in their community and their civic, it's your civic duty.
Great. Johnny?
Everybody go out and have a fun time and stay safe and wear your facial coverings.
Okay.
There we go.
Until next week, have a great week. Get out there and enjoy some good weather. It's nice to be in Southern California.